What is good? Osiris here, stuck in the middle. Thank you for joining. I don't know how we got here, but did you ever think that in America, people getting together in a non-political way, gathering just to take their mind off of things for an event, just for a few hours out of their day, non-political, celebratory, peaceful, that would trigger half the country? Not only that, that when during the event, these people who have gathered together in the stadium, they actually wave as a support of solidarity to a children's hospital that is right over in back of them.
It's been going on a few years now, and this was missed last season, like all the great traditions in college football, but the wave from 70,000 fans over to the patients at the children's hospital. Very cool.
No, it's awesome. It's awesome. Not much to say about it other than this. It's an unbelievable tradition. I'm really glad that Iowa, and the stories on it have been great, but the thought to actually incorporate this into their game day and what that must mean to those families and the kids over there.
That triggers half the country. That's my estimate. I hope I'm not right with that. They're waving at a children's hospital. It is very clear to me that if I live in a part of a country that is triggered by seeing this, that I need to move on to a different part of the country. There is nothing that matters more than allegiance. Of course, if this was a Black Lives Matter riot, regardless of the merit of what happened to cause the riot, it would be celebrated. You might remember there was even a case made that before the V came out, before the procedure came out to help protect people, that the protests, the riots actually helped reduce spread. Salty Dog replied to one of my tweets and said, "You have to ask how many cases per million before you would be okay with gatherings again. You won't get an answer." We need an answer to that. I will never tell you what to do, what not to do. That is not what I'm here for. I'm just here to have a discussion with normal people and to see if we can come to some rational conclusion or some rational agreement or disagreement. We need to know where the goalposts are now, so we know what we're going towards. They can't move. They can't keep on moving. We've got to get something tangible. We've got to get our leaders to agree to something tangible. Otherwise, there is no goalpost. There's no ending. And I have nothing against my fellow citizens who look at the stands and they're triggered by it. Nothing against you. I'm just giving my case as to why we are in a bad place if that happens. Here's what I think a normal, well-adjusted American citizen might think who disagrees. They might look at it and say, that's not for me. I want to be safe. I don't think that's safe enough. I want to take bigger precautions. I want to be masked. I don't want to go outside. Perfectly fine. But I would also think they would say, well, on the other hand, it is great to see people out. I hope nobody gets sick. Isn't that what a normal person would say? That isn't brainwashed? That isn't demanding like cult-like allegiance? There's no data, no facts. It's all emotion. Someone replied to this tweet. They said, "I hate the world right now as I stay home with my 58-year-old lungs and asthma and history of bronchitis, etc. I'm vaccinated, of course, but still very afraid of breakthrough. I'm never going to be able to live a normal life again thanks to this sort of thing. Money, greed, rule as usual." They have more anger to people who are trying to live their life, who are making a decision, than they do about how this whole thing started. They didn't start this thing. They're trying to live through it, just like you are. And I respect you, and I hope that, I think it's a she, I hope that they are very okay, because if you have pre-existing conditions, we know that that's puts you at a higher risk. So you're doing everything. I trust you to do what's right for you. Please trust other people. We have the V now. What is the point of the V? If you can't, and not that you say you're doing anything wrong, you're doing everything what you need to do for yourself. But if we have the V, why can't people go out and enjoy themselves? What's happening? What is the V for? Another reply, I only do grocery pickup in parking lot. Worst thing for me is I relocated in the beginning of pandemic, so now trying to create a social group of peeps like us in the Asheville, North Carolina area that I feel safe having around over the fire pit or hiking. This is the separation. This is divide and conquer. Because when you look at the establishment, Democrat, GOP, intersectionality, all it is a totem pole of identity. And every identity is more important than the identity that I put up as an American. Whether you're black, gender, sexual preference, whatever, it doesn't matter. Whatever it is, there's always an identity that someone wants to put above being an American. The number one thing on that totem, to even get on that totem pole, is you have to agree with the establishment. And that's what this V represents. This person is trying to create a social group of peeps like us that have the V, that agree with this. And then we can talk about other things. As if you can't disagree on the V and talk about other things with a group. Dr. Fauci solidifies this with, to me, a frightening quote. Dr. Fauci, I quote, "The way you protect children who, because of their age, cannot get the V yet, is to surround the children, be it friends, family, school teachers, personnel in the school, surround the children with V people." The director of the National Institute for Allergy and Infectious Diseases told CNN on Sunday. Dr. Fauci, in my opinion, is saying we need to divide the country. And you need to stay away from anyone who doesn't have the V. How do you know if somebody has the V or not? You're going to need to ask. Send out an email to all your friends. If you don't have the V, I don't want Billy playing with your son. If your whole family that you live with don't have that V, I don't know if I can trust y'all. I don't know if I can even visit y'all. I don't know if I can talk to you anymore. It only takes one unclean person, doesn't it? What stats do they have this is such a drastic, this is telling you to ostracize people you may love and care for. It's telling you to destroy that relationship until they obey. What stats? Such a powerful statement. What stats in this article back it up? In the 2-week period, mid to late August, ER visits for kids up to age 17 were 3.4 times higher in the states with the lowest V rates, and hospitalizations were 3.7 times higher than in states with the highest V. So that's the numbers. What are the overall numbers? If we put them in categories, if my child doesn't have any pre-existing like morbidity or whatever the case may be, other diabetes, all these other pre-existing conditions, what are the chances that my child gets hospitalized? Where is that to talk about dividing friends, family, school teachers, personnel, everyone in your life? That's the stat. The CDC, they put all these stats on there, which is great. I love that. Appreciate it. Please put more stats up there. But when you say something like this, Mr. Fauci, my question is, what stats are you seeing that support that? Give me some insight to your logic. Whatever our overlords say, Fauci, president, all that, I comply. I am all for that. Comply. I don't think non-compliance saves this. So please don't listen to this and think I'm trying to say non-compliance. I'm trying to think through this critically, and that's a strong statement, and you didn't back it up with anything. So I'm just asking, what makes you help me through your thought process? For you to say something that's strong, I need something strong to back it up, other than anecdotes.
So take a moment. What are you grateful for today?
Isn't it great to see these visuals? I have, just maybe because I'm just getting older, my interests are different. It could be because of the pandemic. It could be because of the wokeness. I don't know. I don't really care right now. I am not as much into sports as I used to be, even 2 years ago. And stuff happens. You grow up, you change, whatever. I didn't watch 1 second of college football this weekend. It's not on purpose. I'm not trying to boycott anything. I just had no interest. Played with the kids, did other stuff. But it's still great to see. I don't care if it's music, going to a museum, whatever the case is, to see people gathering together on a non-political basis. I know it's a distraction. This by itself isn't going to help anything, but we need distractions, and that's a positive thing to see. I'd like to see more of it. Let me know what you think. Take care.
House of Pain. Everlast on the mic. Here we go. It's been 651 days